Hi there, I am Nikkola of Nikkola Co, and you have joined me at the Tuesday Tune-In, which is a weekly opportunity for us to dive in together on some of the big stuff that is holding us back or could really be an opportunity, all with the view of you coming back to your own inner wisdom on these topics. So my purpose is to ask questions and to create some stimuli to take you back into yourself. So today I've chosen this topic of gossiping, complaining, judging, blaming, because I think it's a really neat way and a really accessible, easy way for us to think about conscious choices. So it's a very tangible thing, something that we come across every day, and it's a gorgeous way to I think, really come back into what's truly in alignment for you. And if you stay with me, I'm going to share some strategies that I have used in the past, including No Whinge Wednesdays. So I'm going to go into that in a little bit. But first I want to say why I feel this is important. So imagine how many times a day, or imagine an instance recently where you have been kind of caught up or sucked into a conversation that is pretty negative. So let's say you're gossiping about someone at the office, or complaining is maybe an even easier way to access this, to think about it. So complaining is really easy to do because, you know, there's lots of things that are annoying or frustrating, especially in the workplace, and it's easy to fall into a trap. Like if there's a bunch of people that are complaining about something, like the air conditioning not being at the right temperature, then it sort of has its own momentum, and it's easy to find yourself contributing to that conversation without even sort of consciously making that choice. And then sort of a level up from there in terms of, I think, the discomfort that this can cause for ourselves and for other people is talking about others in a negative way. So might even be like, oh, you know, Joe Blogs at the office is always doing this thing and it really annoys me, and then it kind of builds on itself, and then, you know, and this doesn't even have to be about people that you know. I think this could be you know, bitching about what you see on the TV, or about a particular actress, or, you know, she slept with somebody else and her husband Brad Pitt's all up in arms about it, la 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 la. Like it's so easy to be having these conversations that are very meaningless and very harmful. And I think that I've been thinking a lot about this concept lately about, you know, a white lie, or if they don't know, it can't hurt them. But I'm here to challenge that, because I think, one, it really hurts us. I think it really messes with our energetic vibration. It comes down when we are talking in this way about other people. And two, you put that out into the world. So one, it's going in, and two, it's going out. So it's going around to the people around you. And I believe it's sort of contributing to a field of negativity, of something that other people might walk into and then be like, oh, actually, yeah, I really don't like that person either. So whether or not the person you're talking about specifically hears what you are saying or not, I really still do believe that it is harmful. So we've really got to think about what this does in relation to separation. So I fully believe that we are all connected. And however you think about that, you know that you don't want people to be talking badly about you. You don't want to be the one that people are saying is annoying, or, you know, snobby, or whatever it is. We wouldn't want that for ourselves. So even if you come back to that base level of do unto others what you would have done unto yourself, it makes sense that it's not great to blame, complain, judge, gossip. You know, that's, no matter how spiritual you are, I think we know that doesn't feel good. And we're all one, we're all connected. And at any given time, people are doing the best they can with what they have. So if Joe Blogs is really just like on a tangent at the moment, and he's so annoying, he's always going on about this particular thing, there's a situation in his life that means it's all he can do right now. So this is a huge opportunity to step into your big heart of compassion and come to everything from a place of compassion. So what's on offer is when we become really mindful of this language of what we talk about, especially when we're talking about other people or we're complaining about situations that are seemingly outside of our control, because you know that, like, for example, the temperature of the air conditioning being perfect for every person in the office is outside of your control. So you're ruminating over that topic probably is not going to make a positive impact, but it will have a negative impact. What becomes possible is that we feel better about ourselves. And for me, that's really in alignment. So when I know that I've been gossiping, I feel shit. There's no escaping that. I feel really crappy because it's like the vibration inside me, the energy inside me has come down. It's come down to a lower level of existence. I don't want to hang around there. And also I think you're contributing to a more happy society. Like, is that such a bad thing to want to aim for? Is that so naive that we can live in a place that feels good to be in and where everybody feels included and not judged? I mean, we do enough judging of ourselves. Goodness me. Imagine if we lived in a place where that wasn't something we did to each other as well. And women, I'm looking at you because we have to support each other in this space. Right? So when you are bitching about another woman, you're bitching about yourself. Like, we're all on this journey together. So imagine what's possible, what that could feel like for your own personal alignment and your integrity, and also for the community that you're building, and the way that you spend time with your friends and what that space feels like. So it's all good things to me. But it's hard. It's really challenging, actually, because everything around us encourages one to complain, to bitch, to gossip, to judge. I mean, turn on the news. I mean, I don't even have my television plugged in because I can't handle the negative energy that comes out of the commercial news. It's like purposefully pushing buttons and poking people and causing separation, saying we are different, and this person is bad and this person is good, and just inflaming situations, and there's just no heart and no compassion there whatsoever. So it's all around us. The newspapers are horrific. If you work in a particular, well, I say every workplace that I've been in, it's been very easy to get caught up in bitching. So from a young age, I think we are conditioned that it's okay to complain about things. And I want to just, there's a difference between airing a grievance and complaining, and you know what that is. Like, it's very obvious internally when you're doing one or the other. So I'm not even going to go into how you measure that. We, especially in Australia, there's this concept of battling. And if we all battle together, and it just kind of takes me to an image of a couple of people sitting on the sofa watching the news and being like, all these people with all their money, and the new construction down the road, like just taking a back seat and just judging, complaining, blaming. And it's unfortunately, it's a part of our culture. I feel confident to say that it has become a part of our culture, but it doesn't have to stay like that. We really get to choose. So let's talk about strategies, and one for yourself, and two for when you are in a situation where people are taking part in this kind of language and this talking. And yeah, just a side note, like, language really, really matters. The words that we use to others and to ourselves is very significant. Those words have their own energy as well. And it's always an opportunity to expand and get bigger, come from more of a place of compassion for yourself and for other people. So, okay, let's start with yourself. So the more aware you become of your own language and how often you are caught in these types of behavior, the easier it will be to stop doing it. So there's another video which I might link to underneath this one where I talk about the rubber band activity. And that is actually in relation to negative thinking about yourself, but it can be replaced with anything. So the concept is that you have a rubber band on your wrist, and each time you notice yourself doing that thing, you snap it. And over time, you actually accumulate a little like tab of how many times that's happened. You can get a sense of how much a percentage of your day you're spending with that particular behavior. So you can use that in lots of different ways. And check in with yourself. Maybe put a reminder in your phone. I mean, this sounds extreme, but there's so much on offer for us when we live this way. Put a reminder in your phone every 2 hours. Like, am I doing it? Am I doing the thing? You know, am I partaking in language and behavior that I don't want to be doing? And then, okay, so let's talk about with other people. How do you deal with the situation when the conversation has gone down a road you are not comfortable with, and you absolutely know when you're not comfortable with it because it's in your heart, it's in your gut, and it's kind of like, oh, you know, you can feel that discomfort very, very clearly. Okay, you've got a couple of options from my experience. So first, easiest way, change the topic. Change the topic to anything. Ask someone something about themselves. They tend to people like talking about themselves, what's happening with the kids, or I heard you were playing volleyball, how's that going? Change the topic. 2, leave the conversation. That may or may not be easy or difficult to do because maybe it's obvious that you're leaving for that reason, or maybe you could genuinely just leave and that's no problem at all. And 3rd option, stand up for yourself. Raise it. Say, I don't feel good about talking about so-and-so in that way. You know, or offer an alternative like, you know, Joe has been going through a lot lately, and I think it's probably part of that stage that he's going through that, like, why he's acting that way. So that's probably the most challenging option, because you're really confronting people with what they're doing, but always from a place of love. Like, if you judge them for judging other people, that's just as bad. That doesn't shift the you know, you're just repeating the behavior in a different way. So if you want to make a change, if you feel like you can impact the people that you're hanging around with, raise it with them and choose the right moment. Be prepared, people won't like it. So when you hold up a mirror to someone, when you stand up and say, actually, this isn't okay with me, you're holding up a mirror to them, and they may not be ready for that. So just be prepared that you might get a little bit of kickback. You might be like, people might say things to you like, oh, well, come on, you know, like, you know that Joe Blogs is like this, or, oh, well, it's all right for you, or, oh, stop being such a goody two-shoes. Like, oh, I can't stand that. Like, if that's, and that's a trigger for me, because I've always tried to be really kind and compassionate, and some people just don't like it, or it's too much for them. So there are so many challenges when it comes to this, but it's your life. You get to decide what your energy is like internally and what you're putting out. You get to decide if you want to live in a happy environment or not. Don't let other people's thoughts about you get in the way of that, because it's your life. Nobody else is hitting your head to the pillow. Like, it's just you. So do you want to feel in integrity with yourself or not? That's the option. It's always the option. So an example that I used in my corporate job last year, a friend and I, or a colleague and I, had really noticed how bad it was a very stressful time, high workloads, lots of pressure, lots of politics, but we'd noticed how bad the vibe had got in our office, and we didn't like it. So we instigated No Whinge Wednesdays. So the way that this worked was that we made an agreement in advance. So we weren't imposing on the day, like, oh, stop doing this, stop whinging. We agreed together that we didn't want to be doing that, and that Wednesdays would be our focus day. Each time we were bitching, complaining, judging, moaning unnecessarily, we would call each other on it. And it became really fun and light, and that we sort of looked forward to that day, middle of the week, because it meant we didn't have to stay feeling yucky. So that is just one sort of option. You can have that discussion with your family, with your friends. Like, make the commitment together. If you all want to stop doing that, or, you know, maybe they don't, but you do, you could say, hey guys, today I'm not going to participate in this kind of thing. Like, it's very up to you. It always is. If this lands for you, if you find that it's big in your life and it's something you want to change, I encourage you to share this video. And if there's anyone that you know that might benefit from this, share it with them privately, send them the link, send them to YouTube, whatever it is. It's all available to you. It's all available to us, and we're all connected. We're actually, all of us, every single one of us is connected. So I encourage you to do whatever feels right for you right now and keep your heart so big. That's where all the good stuff is. And I will see you next week.